Hey guys, welcome back to Bits of an Artist's Life. This is Sandy here. Welcome to part 3 of our artist collaboration that I've been doing with Mel Chadwick. All right, first things first, as you can tell, there's a little bit of difference to the background. There have been some major changes going on in the studio, and that is to come in the next video, a little art studio tour and all the changes that we've made. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications because you will not want to miss what all we've been doing in this studio. We are exhausted, big changes, and it's been a ton of fun. That's coming up. In this part 3 collaboration with Mel Chadwick, I'm gonna have my final pieces that I made for this art collab. I also have for you a slideshow kind of thing at the end of the video, all the pieces that I made in this collaboration. And then at the very end, I've got a little bit of footage from when Mel and I met in a Zoom call and we showed one another our final pieces, which was a ton of fun. You'll definitely want to go over to her channel and make sure that you see what she's done for the final pieces because guys, she just blew me away. I mean, what she did for her final pieces were just, it was so good. I got choked up because she just really did some very personal, sweet things in her final pieces, and I just loved them. Sorry, I'm shaking you guys. I couldn't find my tripod because the house is a hot mess from all the studio stuff, so you guys are shaking. Sorry about that. In the description, I'm gonna have all the collaboration videos that Mel's done, that I've done, so you can go check all those out. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Here we go. Our final video for this collab series. Guys, I am so happy with how this turned out. Super, super fun. I took all my favorite sketches and put them together. I used my acrylic inks and wax and oil pastels. I usually am not a multi-medium kind of person. I don't know, it's just not my thing. I really like how this turned out, that little plug. I don't know why, but I don't usually like more than one medium in a painting. I really, 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 really like this. I'm so happy with it, and I'm loving these inks. Ooh, this is a pretty big piece for me too. It's in a sketchbook that is, let me see. This is the sketchbook. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I had a 50% off coupon, or 40% off, so pretty cheap. And this is it, the info. Yeah, so this was fun. I kind of want to do this again. So I have this painting here that I did of Melanie that I just did it real quick. This is an original sketch that I did in our Zoom meeting. And I liked it in the Zoom meeting, but then when I started painting it, I didn't really care for it, and so I just stopped instead of working on it because I thought maybe later I would like it. I think I just want to keep playing around with it and pushing a little bit. I'm also thinking about a different arrangement. I'm thinking I want to maybe put her in the chair that is in the painting that I've been putting up in the background in several of the paintings. So I think I'm going to take a picture of myself in a chair so I can get some of the perspective correctly. And that's what I'm thinking about doing, basically putting her in the painting that's in her house. So this is on watercolor paper, so it's all like this. So I'm going to just tape it down on the back of this pad right here. I'm just using good old painter's tape. I'm also thinking I may save like some of the edges here. That could be interesting, like at the end when I pull that off. Yeah, maybe I'll just keep my name in that. I'm not going to try to worry about like getting it straight either. Hello, who has time for that? I'm also going to do this in my flash paint. I want to do it in a style that I've been playing around with recently, which basically means this is probably going to turn out to be a hot mess, but we're going to have fun doing it. Taping it on this instead of on the table will also allow me to like move it around, or that's the theory. All right, this is what I'm going to work with. I think I'm first going to sketch using this purple ink, I think is what I want to do. And that way I can have something kind of dark and not get as distracted by this. Okay, so that's my quick sketch. I feel like there's something wonky going on right here. I think I've got her portions way off, but I kind of don't mind that sometimes. Sometimes I kind of like that wonkiness, but it could be too distracting. But because of all this other stuff, I can't really tell so well. So I'll just kind of fix it, I think, as I get into the painting, I think. Maybe I want to do it now. 1, 2. So this is where the waist should be. The waist should be like this. I think I'm just going to go with that. No, I can tell the knee should be. The knee should be right here. Okay, I'm going to go with that. And I think, because I do feel overwhelmed right now about all these colors in the background, I'm going to just start blocking in some color, kind of just chunking it in of things that I know that I want. It's really interesting. I can't remember the original painting that Mel had up on her wall. She showed it to me in the last meeting we had on Zoom, and I was like, what? That's not how I remember it at all. So it's kind of interesting because I'm just now working from like all my sketches, and so it's like almost dreamlike. What's nice about this flash paint is at first it's very transparent, which will be nice because then I can have some kind of pattern in the rug because some of this will be see-through. I'm also just using like this Chinese kind of brush. It's big, it holds the paint well, it helps me stay loose. Kind of thinking about doing her shirt as a red striped shirt because the first Zoom meeting we had, she had a red and white striped shirt on that I loved, and I did several drawings of other people in red striped shirts after that. I do think that would be a nice tie here, so maybe I'll just kind of start blocking that in really loose. Man, I want to stay loose with this. I already feel myself wanting to tighten up. I may have to create some exercises to make myself stay loose. I definitely want to keep an eye on my grip. I want to keep it up here. I don't want to be doing this. You just cannot be loose if you're holding your brush down there. So when this dries, see how the background's coming through? That's one of the things that's really nice about using an old painting. You get some of that. Those marks and stuff are saved, which is really wonderful. And while I've got this red on the palette, I'm gonna go on and get my pink going. I do want to add a little bit of, just a touch of yellow to it. Flash paint dries just a touch darker. So I'm trying to account for that. Ooh, doggy, I'm already loving that pink and red together. Isn't that fun? Really fun. Kind of really liking her wonky shape. Now I've kind of got this color loaded. I think I can make a good decision now about her flesh color. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna rinse that brush a little. I think I do want her flesh to read really white. And I've got a little pink. I didn't rinse my brush out like amazing. So I've got a little bit of pink in there, which could make a nice flesh tone. We'll see. I'll have to do several layers, so it won't really matter if it's not exactly right. So I'm kind of telling myself things like, Sandy, be careful with the way you're holding the brush. Don't get too tight with it. I'm constantly mixing a new thing of paint over here because I don't want everything to be the same. I want there to be a little bit of a difference. I always get tickled when people like want to mix a big old batch of paint because I'm like, what? Holy smoke, don't you want there to be some variance? This is where I want to be careful to not like get too tight. In fact, I'm going to turn it upside down. So maybe I won't worry too much. I think I want to get some nice cheek color in there while it's wet. We gotta have our cheeks. Have to be really careful to not be precious up here because it's very easy to get like that. All right, next I know that I want these stripes to be white, so I'm gonna block those in. And this is actually like not white. It's a mix that's like basically an off-white. Not sure I ever use like for real white. Okay, the next color I feel comfortable in defining because I still don't know what I want to do with her skirt. I know that I want kind of a, I'm looking at my reference stuff. I either want an orange or I think I want this kind of mustardy yellow. I'm kind of using this color palette right here. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. Does this feel dangerous stirring this over that? See, I would totally be fine if that like splattered. I would 100% leave it. I think I'm just gonna blob it on and see what I'm thinking. I know I want a little blue up here, but let's just blob it in and see what happens. In a lot of my reference material, I've got this kind of bright green in different places. So I could pop that in for her skirt. That could be pretty. But I'll tell you what's messing me up. This blue is messing me up because I feel like there's blue in it, but there's not. I mean, there's little bits, so kind of wishing that was white now. Interesting. This is what you can do sometimes too. So I've got this green right here. I can just put that right there and kind of vision it with that pink. Ooh, I think I may like that. Yes, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, yep. And ooh, look at this water. I love paint water sometimes. It's just so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go clean this. It's way too thick. This is almost like paint. I'm gonna go clean this up. Just dawned on me. If I don't like what it looks like when I take this off, I'm gonna paint a blue border around it. Because I'm loving these colors. I always add a little red to my green. I'll dab a little in here. I'm really happy with how this is going so far. I don't want to get so happy though that I won't take a risk and play around. I literally just got paint on the camera, but I wanted to show you guys this. I was going to go rinse this. Oh, I felt like maybe you needed to see that gorgeous water. Isn't that pretty? The pink one looked like something you'd want to drink. Man, that looks like a pretty like river out in Montana or something. Okay guys, so here's what I was doing. I wanted to pull back the tape to see what I thought of like with her feet. And I thought, oh, I think I like this coming down. I think I want this part coming down into like the frame part. So I thought I would just try to use this X-Acto knife, which I was lazy and didn't go change the blade. So it's really dull. I think I cut some wood with it last time. Anyways, so I thought I would try to cut around here so then I could just use a pencil and draw like where her foot would end. And then I kind of liked the jaggedy and that little bits of blue. So I'm gonna leave it, even though that's tape. I mean, who cares? Is that archival? I'm quite sure not. I'm gonna leave it. I really like it. And then I do think though I'm gonna paint a blue around the border. That's what I'm gonna do. I like this. I like that this will come down into the border. You know, you just go with the flow. Oh my gosh, I've got, guys, why am I singing so much to you guys? I guess I'm feeling comfortable. All right, I gotta go work on this. Let's just see what this looks like. Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna love this. Wow, I do think I'm gonna add some bright blue down here, but I'm really liking how this is looking. Oh, I do, I love it. Wow, yes. Oh my goodness, guys, I love this. Okay, I've decided I wanted to make her feet a little more secure, you know, where I had that tape. And so I think I'm going to pull that tape up and put some glue on it because I don't want her little toes falling off at some point. So I'm gonna use this. It's the only thing I could get the top off of. Okay, so I got all that stuff properly glued on. It didn't all line up exactly, and you can see a little more of the lines. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I know I'm okay with that. I want to bring this blue in around it. It feels a little too cluttered, and I want it to have this frame feel since I'm basically putting Melanie into her painting that was on her wall. I want this to feel like picture frame, and then her coming out of it a little bit. So symbolically, she's in it, but she's not in it. Okay, guys, I think I'm done with it. I'm really happy with it. I love the concept of it for my final piece, taking Melanie, putting her in one of her paintings that inspired me. And then basically though, the painting isn't even from the original. It's kind of my dreamlike remembrance of it. I definitely think this is one that's going to go up on my wall. I'm setting up to do oil pastel sketch. I want to do this or something similar to this with my oil pastels. And I think I'm gonna start sketching though with this kind of pinky purple in my wax pastels. I don't really know why, it's just what I wanna do. Here's the really super quick sketch. You saw how fast I did it. And now I'm gonna switch to my oil pastels. Kind of lost part of her arm right there, but I'm kind of okay with that. I think I want all of this to be a little dreamlike. This one's done with ink. This one was not of Melanie, but it's inspired from painting her in this way and then doing the background. This was basically her view and some of what she was painting of me. I did this one with ink. This one right here is done in gouache. This one is also done in gouache, I think, maybe watercolor. This was the sketch I did in the Zoom meeting where we were supposed to be focusing on the negative space, and then I went back and painted over it. This right here is from our initial Zoom meeting sketches. I really liked how a couple of these turned out. This is a pretty large sketchbook, and after I painted this, I think I did this in the initial Zoom meeting, but then afterwards I wrote some text. I really like this one. This was with the watercolor graphite. This one was with that same medium as well. It may not show up very well on camera, but this was with a purple color pencil. This is one of my favorites. This was done with wax pastel. This is done with wax pastel, and this is just a drawing of me. And I also did this large, I think this is about 11 by 15 oil pastel. I shared a little of my process of this one in the last video, so part 2. I was really happy with how this turned out. I did this painting with the inks, 2 different brands that I've shown you guys. So I moved things around. I used the pattern that was on one of the pillows in her background and added that to the rug. I added some of the pattern that was in another pillow and made it into this little thing, something that's on the table. And I wanted to put some of the quotes. Yeah, I was real happy with this. Had a lot of texture and color and quite different from other things I would normally do. Up to date of this video, this is the final one that I've done, and I feel like it captured the series really well because I did a finished final painting that has some realism about it. So it's got Melanie in it. It's got her original red striped shirt from our first Zoom meeting. It's this kind of dreamlike memory I have of a painting that was up on her wall, and then I put her in the painting. And what's underneath this is a watercolor sketch that I did not really love, and then I made it into this. This is the oil pastel that I did from the last painting that I thought that I did, and I kind of feel like this has like a birthday party feel about it. After I got done, I was like, ooh, it kind of feels like confetti and like a balloon in the background. So kind of fun. I used a ton of oil pastel on this. Oops, but it was fun.
Oh, yay.
Here's another one.
Oh, cool. I really like that pattern.
Yep.
Yeah. I really love it though. I love all the details in there.
At some point, I got my ink bottles out. I'm like loving the inks. I've been going ink crazy. So I first did a sketch. This is in purple.
Oh, that's brilliant. I just love the patterns that you're putting in there. You've got the stripes and the zigzags and the spots and.
Well, your pillows back there inspired that.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I really love that. The blue outline. Yeah.
And several of them I have added Grady's quote where he said, does she normally wear that much lipstick?
Which I don't wear any lipstick, but I'd love to see that in person. It's lovely. It's like, it's kind of got like, feels like neon and kind of bright, and I love it. It looks really cool. It's like an illustration. Make sure to go check out Mel's channel now and see her final pieces and what she's done, because it is amazing. I'm gonna have everything listed below, all our collab videos in this whole series. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. All right guys, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, because next time I see you guys, I'm gonna be giving you guys an art studio tour and all the changes that have been made.
See you guys next time.